And you killed her. You killed her. And then you didn't just leave her there, you drove her to Grapevine. Stand up and man up and tell us what you did for this girl's family.
I'm admitting to it. I can't remember killing anyone, man.
This is 30-year-old Charles Bryant, a serial stalker who just took the life of an innocent young girl. And despite his claims of innocence, little does he know that every single one of his crimes has been caught on camera.
We have video of you with this girl.
Show me.
You're at the bar. Her cell phone goes to your house. You're walking around Walmart at 4 o'clock in the morning buying a shovel.
On the night of September 14th, 2016, 24-year-old Jackie Vandegrift, an aspiring college student, wanted to meet someone she had matched with on Tinder. Unbeknownst to her, this would be the worst decision of her life because she was meeting 30-year-old Charles Bryant, a dangerous man with a history of stalking so severe that he had a warrant out for his arrest. Not knowing any of this, Jackie goes to meet Charles at 5:54 p.m. in the Fry Street Public House, a local cafe. The two would then spend the next 3 hours together, having drinks and talking. Sometime around 8:45 p.m. they decide to call it a night, but Jackie doesn't go to her own home, a critical mistake that sealed her fate. Instead, she gets in the car with Charles. By 8:52, Charles makes a stop at a 7-Eleven buying drinks and food before driving Jackie to his home in Hazlet, Texas, where he lived with his roommates. The next time that Charles was captured on camera was in the early morning hours of the next day at approximately 4 a.m., where he visits a gas station. But this time, he isn't buying drinks. Instead, he buys a shovel while Jackie isn't anywhere to be seen. However, she would be discovered very soon. The very next day, 3 individuals trying to put out a bushfire in Grapevine Park found a mutilated and burnt corpse with its head and limbs chopped off. This was Jackie, and she had been brutally murdered by Charles. But what pushed Charles to murder her, and what happened during the time that Jackie was missing? To answer these questions, Charles Bryant was brought in for an interview 4 days later on September 18th. Unfortunately, getting Charles to talk wasn't going to be as easy as officers imagined because he would go on to deny everything.
Obviously, there's been some issues that you've had up in UNT. This is an ongoing issue, correct? With Caitlin?
Yeah.
Okay. That is not what I'm wanting to talk to you about. What I'm wanting to talk to you is another case, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a picture of a female that I'd like you to tell me if you recognize who she is.
We started a bar.
Okay. What can you tell me about her?
That's about it, I guess.
Well, there's always more than just saw her at a bar, is what you're saying?
What was it? Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night when I drank with Katie. She's a bartender. So,
Okay, Katie, bartender, where?
Public house.
Public house, okay. Okay, so you're having drinks with Katie, the bartender?
Yeah.
Is she actually bartend right there?
Yeah, she bartends there.
Okay.
Just a friend. Go
Okay.
get cheap drinks.
Okay. So you get there, and we're saying it's Tuesday. You get there about what time then?
6-ish, 7,
Okay.
somewhere around time.
And we're saying the evening time, obviously. And were you planning on meeting anyone there?
Just Katie.
Okay. She knew you were coming,
Mhm.
or is that just a usual thing for you to do to go there?
No, she knew. I'm talking to her. She's a friend.
Okay. Do you
Okay.
normally go there during the week or weekend?
Past few weeks. We've been friends for like a month, I guess.
But as far as anything, what I'm talking about, like a consistency of you going up there, because we're talking about up there in Denton area is where you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you go up there frequently?
That's like a month and a half, give or take. Mainly because it's dating Caitlin, and then we parted ways, and I met Katie. But
Okay. And so, Katie, a relationship going right now?
yeah, no, we're just friends.
Just friends.
Yeah.
Okay. So up there Tuesday, you meet her, and then you said that you did recognize this young lady as somebody up there at that.
She was in the bar.
She was in the bar. How did that happen? Was she with a group or something, or?
I don't know. She was talking to a bunch of girls, and that's like, there's just a bunch of girls. It's dead.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, as far as did you ever get to talk to her?
She was talking to us. She drank. I'll talk to anyone who's there, but other than that.
Okay. Did you ever sit with her, the other girls, ever hang around them and talk to some of them? Any interaction with them because the way you kind of making it sound to me right now is that you're kind of standing in one area and they're in the other area, and you're just kind of watching.
It's like this would be the bar, and then it's like literally just here, and they're over here.
Okay.
Over here.
So you're over here, they're over here, gap between the two of y'all, and what? That's all you recall?
No, just literally drinking and BSing. I know she was talking to Katie about. I don't know. I was there to drink.
Sure.
I'm grabbing sours over table.
You're at a bar. That's typically it, and plus to possibly meet people. But you're up there to hang out with Katie though?
Yeah.
Okay. So you weren't really looking to hook up that particular night. Katie was a friend. That's why you went up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I wouldn't mind hooking up with Katie.
I haven't seen her, so.
Yeah.
So anyway, as far as any direct conversation with this young lady that you had?
I really just BSing, but nothing memorable. So I talked to a bunch of people that night.
Okay. Did you wind up? Well, I mean, how long did you stay there at the public then?
Katie got off at 9, and then I don't know, I was home by like 11:30.
On that night, which way did you go home? I mean,
I go out. Well, leaving there, just go towards 35, so it's westbound.
okay.
And
So
then
you
southbound.
So I'm assuming you're taking what 35W?
Yeah,
Or,
Yeah. It's which one goes towards? It's 35 west, right? It goes south.
Yes.
Yeah, toward
That's
Fort
35.
Worth. That's
Yeah.
the one. Okay, because they split in Denton.
Yeah, I don't think they go this way. Something crazy.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so just straight down southbound 35W is what you're saying.
And I think you said you stopped for maybe for some water or something.
I had a lot in my car. It's like just went home. Got malt liquor before, like I even left, and it was just in my car. Like I don't know if you've ever had them. Like they have Mike's Hard Orange Soda.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But
Yeah.
I had that before.
Kool-Aid with alcohol.
Essentially,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
Mhm. Yeah.
it's a sweet treat. But
Yes.
other than that,
I mean, are you saying you bought that?
that was before I even saw Katie.
Oh, okay. So that was before you went to the bar.
Yeah, it was a straight shot home.
Okay, so straight out home, and you took 35 back home.
Mhm.
And when you left, and that's kind of maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being completely sober, 10 being,
I'd give
fall
it
out,
7-ish.
fall down.
Nah, I'd go
but-
6, 7-ish maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
More than coherent enough to drive, but
okay. Well, you made it home. That's good. So you were functional a little bit. So I mean, functional well enough that you remember everything maybe that was going on that night. So you wasn't like, I woke up in the bed. I know I was in Denton. I woke up in the next thing I know. Yeah, next thing I know, I woke up in the bed. So
No.
I mean, because you told us about Curtis, the drive home, whatever. So and so you pretty much knew what was going on that night.
Pay very close attention to the approach that Charles takes when telling his story. He refuses to even acknowledge the nearly 3 hours that he spent talking with Jackie, all caught on CCTV. And very soon, this conversation is about to take a turn so drastic that you will see Charles' persona do a complete 180.
This young lady right here, when I said missing, she's missing from this world of the ones who are alive. This is a homicide investigation. She was located Wednesday morning in our city. So that same girl that you saw, that's why we're wanting to talk to you now.
okay. That's insane. Okay.
And Charles, I feel confident you know more than what you're telling us on this. This is one of those things that this has happened already, okay? But the thing is you need to really get out in front of this, because what kind of happens is that You know, if there's charges that are filed against somebody who has committed such a terrible act, it's one of those things that the jury gets an opportunity to kind of hear and see what's going on,
Right.
to see how this person reacted, maybe when contacted by law enforcement. Is this something they're remorseful for? Is this something that they're going to just completely continue to lie about it, you know? So what I'm doing right now, Charles, is I want to get to the truth. You telling me that you just saw her at a distance is not true.
That's like, I don't know her. That's insane. It's like,
Okay.
that's just blowing my mind now.
We have video from those bars at Fry Street that totally is different from what you're telling us and your interaction with her, okay? So reconsider what you're telling us right now, because every little lie that you tell us, it makes us doubt even the truth that you may want to come up with.
So I was drunker than I thought. That's like, I don't really remember anything. That's insane.
Well, I mean, but you saying you're drunker than you thought you were. I mean, you gave us some pretty good details as far as your movements that night. I mean, you pretty much remember where you were, you know, the times you were there, you know, when you got home, whatever, you know, so, you know, that's just, you know, and we talked about, you know, you had something to drink, you were about 6 or 7, you know, but you knew what was going on.
Yeah, that's when I got there.
So.
Something else I need you to think about and consider while we're all sitting here together, because this is the time that we need to talk, and that is your cell phone right now. We've seized it. We'll be going through it.
Okay.
Your car, we've seized it. We're going to be going through it. Your house, we've seized it. We're going to be going through it. And so, is there any reason why we're going to find either her DNA in your vehicle, her DNA in your house, any of her clothes or articles in your house, in your car?
I don't have anything else.
Nothing.
No.
Okay. Is there going to be any reason that DNA is going to be found on her body that belongs to you?
I didn't touch her. We were drinking.
Exactly. So you're saying there is no way your DNA is going to show up on her?
That blows my mind. No.
Okay. As far as I can always offer you a consent to give us a sample of your DNA, and that could be through like a buccal swab, the Q-tips that go inside the mouth kind of thing. Is that something that you would consent for us to take?
Yeah.
Because the thing is by no means am I going to say that your DNA is there, but my question is, could it be there? And then at that point in time, what I need to do is I need to confirm that is your DNA, or it's not your DNA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I get the DNA from you, then that's a known sample right there from you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't mistake that for somebody else at that point in time.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will grab. Well, you know what? I think I've got it right here with me right now. Let me go ahead and do that real quick.
For the next few minutes, officers conduct a buccal swab test on Charles. This is because the DNA obtained here can be cross-referenced to several items found in his vehicle when he was initially arrested. These included a Sig Sauer mosquito pistol, a stun gun, and a zip tie that had golden strands of hair stuck to them. In fact, there had even been bloodstains in his vehicle that seemed dried up. All that was left was to search his house, something that would prove to be the most critical part of incriminating Charles. But for now, officers need to keep mounting the pressure on him in hopes of getting a clean confession.
Like I said, if there was anything that you've told us up to this point right now that has not been the truth, I can't express it enough how important it is to make sure that we have the truth right now, because it doesn't do anything to try to get the truth later.
Yeah, right.
Because then you're not credible at that point in time, because you've already lied to us.
Understandable.
And so we do during this process right now, that if there was something that you decided not to tell us up front, but have now started thinking about it and going, now I'm going to look like a liar if I come back and change it, this is the time to do it right now, before we basically make this your statement and say, this is what Charles told us. This is what he said happened. It's what goes into print.
Right. Yeah,
But everything that you've told us up to this point
So I recall it's like, I don't remember even blackout drunk, so I remember leaving public house. It was raining out. But I don't really remember talking to that girl when I left.
Were you driving that Mitsubishi vehicle
Yeah,
up there?
that's all I have.
Okay. Now that we kind of know what this is about now, you understand
Yeah.
obviously the seriousness behind this.
Yeah.
When I'm telling you that we're going through your phone, your car, your house, that's not something that happens on, I don't know, like a petty theft or something, you know. This has gotten very serious. And so I need you to also realize that things that are going to be uncovered, or things that are going to be found, that's truly going to dictate the course everything else from this point on goes. And so again, I want to make sure you understand we need the truth right now.
Yeah, like I said, I don't remember being blackout drunk when I left. Stuff in the bar. I don't remember talking to anyone. These ones, but when I was drunk, if you have it, but I don't really remember talking to that girl that much. In the bar.
And also, you know, we want to understand is that, you know, even though, you know, what you're saying is not adding up to what we're seeing, you know, we're going to check these facts of what you're saying. You know, we're going to talk to Curtis and, you know, and do that. And is there any reason that he's not going to say the exact same thing you saying that you talked to him?
No, he talked to me, and then the next day it's like, they're outside again, like, oh, you want to come up from our room? Like, yeah.
I'm going to step out real quick. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of him, okay? You don't by chance know his number by heart, do you? I didn't think you would.
So there's, Curtis can confirm this conversation that you guys had that night, and we're going to talk to him, and, you know, and he, not being in this situation, he's probably going to tell the truth about it, and so I just want to be 100% sure that he's going to confirm this conversation, the time it took place, when it take place. And I know you say you slept 9 to 9-ish or whatever that next morning. Did you ever leave the house again, or?
Pretty much just passed out, so I recall it, but it's crazy.
But you know, it's just some gaps in that's, you know, some things that you're seeing and some things that we're seeing that's not adding up.
Right.
You know, so I want to be, you know, at this point, you know, the video that we have is not adding up to what you're saying. So, you know, we're going to talk to a person that can actually confirm, which is Curtis, that this conversation took place at the exact same time. Okay. So, and just to be doubly sure, he's going to confirm this conversation took place at that same time.
Yeah, I talked to Curtis. It was about that time frame. So.
Okay. You know, was anybody else present besides Curtis that you can recall, besides yourself and Curtis on your side of the fence? Now you said Tanner?
Yeah.
Tanner, okay. And his girlfriend were home, and you're saying they were passed out that night.
Yeah, I didn't see them.
Okay. Oh, you didn't actually see them?
No, they were in that room.
Okay. Okay.
For more context, Curtis is Charles's neighbor, and if anyone knew what happened after the two drove home, it would be him. According to police reports, Curtis had actually approached one of the FBI response teams and told them that when Charles left for the store at 4 a.m., he asked him how to get away with murder, to which Curtis replied jokingly, probably by burning it. Charles likely remembers this conversation, yet he still refuses to crack and give any information. However, considering that he has gone as red as a tomato, he is clearly anxious. This is why, to bank on their opportunity, another detective enters the room. A detective that would take the most aggressive approach by far.
Charles, you want something to drink?
Thanks, man.
I'm Sergeant Henley. We haven't met. I feel like I know you, though, because I've been watching the goings-on or whatnot. And I keep hearing you say you don't know what's going on. You don't remember. You don't this. You don't that. Come on, man. We've laid it out for you, okay?
Yeah, it's there. End up in Grapevine. I remember that.
We're over there at your house, okay? We have video of you with this girl.
Showed me.
You're at the bar. Her cell phone goes to your house. you're walking around Walmart at 4 o'clock in the morning buying a shovel.
I can call service.
She's found dead in a pool that came from your backyard. Okay?
Yeah.
You can't tell me you can't tell me you don't remember.
I don't know why.
Come on, man.
Well, I'm giving you
You
that.
were there.
Obviously.
You did all these things, and there is no way in the world that
I
a
can't
man
recall
could
killing
travel all the way from Hazlitt to Grapevine, from Denton to Hazlitt to Grapevine, and not remember. Stand up and man up and
Dude,
tell us what you did for this girl's family.
I'm admitting to it. I can't remember killing anyone, man.
You've got to. There's no way. You remember all the big things in your life. Okay? Very few are bigger than taking another human life.
Yeah, it's pretty drastic.
I know it's in there. Okay?
Yeah, apparently
I know
that's the
you
next
got
level.
it in you.
I don't know how.
Talk to me.
I'm trying.
Tell me.
The past hour and a half, I've been racking my brain.
There's no way, man. There's no way in the world that you do not remember this. There's no way.
Woke up. I don't even remember taking her home. I thought I was home.
She
a lot
went to
earlier.
your house.
Yeah, I don't remember taking her to my place, man. I don't. I thought I went home by myself.
And you killed her. You killed her. And then you didn't just leave her there, you drove her to Grapevine. Tell me you don't remember that. Putting her in the car. Come on.
I don't even
You were
remember
at the
taking her
bar
home.
with her in Denton. Y'all drove to your house. You killed her. You drove her to Grapevine. And you don't remember any of that?
I just remember waking up hungover. I don't know how I could kill someone, man. I don't. It's like it's not me. But obviously it is me. It's like I just...
Out of all those things that I've told you there, how is that possible that you don't remember?
I don't think I was that drunk. I really don't.
It's
I know I
not
was
about
drinking.
being drunk, Charles. The people kill people when they're drunk because they drive down the road and they hit them, okay? They don't murder them and then take them to another place. Look at me, man. They don't. I've been doing this for 25 years, okay? I've heard a lot of blackout stories. I've seen a lot of blackout stories. This is not a blackout story. And the fact that you can't look me in the eyes,
I don't remember, man. I don't.
it's down in there. And it's weighing on you. It's dragging you
this
down.
entire thing is.
I know. And you would at least feel better
Telling you something I don't know.
telling me the
You
truth.
feel better.
'cause
I don't know, man.
You do know, Charles. There's no way you could not know.
I could kill someone.
There's no way, brother. There's no way at all. I'm telling you, okay? You get drunk, you forget where you left your car keys. You forget where you parked the car. You forget you go to the wrong house. You knock on the wrong door. You don't kill someone, load them up in your car, drive them to the park where you like to hang out at, okay? I've been out there today. I saw the tree where you first kissed Caitlin under.
Caitlin was Charles's ex, and one that suffered greatly because of his obsessive behavior. Right after the two broke up in late August of the same year, Charles began stalking Caitlin. Even when he was given a court order to stay away, he was found standing outside her dorm room with flowers.
It's in the same park, brother. You know where it's at. If you're drunk, you don't know that. You took her back to where you started your relationship with Caitlin and she shit on you.
Why would I do it to this girl? I don't. It's
Because
not
you're
piecing
pissed
together for me.
off. Because she's got you arrested.
This girl
Because she's
hasn't.
filing charges against you. Because she's out hooking up with other guys. So you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to hook up with another girl. And something happened. Something happened and you killed this girl. It's not apparently that you did. We found her purse at your house. Yeah. We have video of you with her.
The purse was not the only thing that officers found at Charles's home. Besides Jackie's tote bag, officers also discovered a knife that tested positive for Jackie's DNA, as well as several zip ties with her hair stuck inside. Lastly, officers decided to use satellite imagery on the home and noticed that 2 similar holes had been dug out in the backyard. These were also surrounded by the same blue plastic that the remains were found wrapped in. According to roommates, Charles said he wanted to make a koi pond, which is why he was digging the holes, which was obviously a lie.
I just remember waking up, man.
There has to be something about this night that you remember. There has to be.
I really don't even remember.
Why would you?
This far.
Okay.
Why would I go back to a place that I frequent?
When did the purse end up in the trash?
I don't know. I didn't even know the purse was in the trash.
Okay, so did it go in the trash the next day when you woke up, or was this part of the blur that was the night before?
I didn't know there was a purse.
What about the zip? What about the zip ties with her hair in it?
I have zip ties in my car, so.
So you have zip ties in your car, okay?
Yeah, my emergency kit thing.
And it's got her hair in it. Is that what you used to tie her up before you killed her?
Oh man, I don't know. I really don't know.
It was along with Detective Taylor in here. It was us 3 that went and told the parents. And the one thing that they looked at us and they said, was it long and drawn out? Was it painful? Did she suffer? And you know what? The only thing we can say is we don't know. But they need to know. And you need to tell them. You've done something bad.
Yeah, it's horrible.
But that doesn't mean you're evil. That doesn't mean you're not savable. Okay? But you need to tell those parents right now how this happened to their little girl. And that's how you're going to save you.
I don't know, man. I really don't.
Come on, Charles.
I'm racking my brain. I haven't.
You're racking your brain? Have you... I don't have to rack my brain to know I didn't kill anyone this week. Okay?
I just woke up. Wednesday was like run of the mill for me. It's like I was just hungover. I remember.
Brother, let me tell you something. Wednesday was not run of the mill for you.
Just woke up at like 9 something. It's just blowing my mind. Really, I gave you everything I have. I don't remember.
But you haven't, Charles, you hadn't told us anything. All it's been is us telling you what we have. We know.
Those were mine.
We know. I mean, out of the 3 people sitting in this room right now, the only people that don't know you did this is you. And it's not possible. It's not possible. There's way too much involved. You know, you tried to get rid of her. You tried to get it away from you.
I don't know why I'd go to a place I frequent. Makes no sense.
Because you were familiar with it?
It's just blowing my mind. I don't know this girl. Why I do it?
I get it, but I mean, you've got 2-3 detectives that have been talking to you now for, I don't know, a couple hours or so, that are telling you that you
did something atrocious. It's horrible. It's fucking horrible.
It's heinous.
It's horrible.
It's the worst of the worst, and all you can say is, it's blowing my mind. Really?
He's a real person.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he's a pretty upstanding kind of guy?
I've liked him.
I mean, the thing is that he's a family man. I mean, it gives him some credibility. He's not evicted from his house. He seems to be paying bills. So at least from society's point of view, he seems like a pretty upstanding kind of person, right? And so you're going to now, what we're going to do is we're going to put Curtis on that witness stand, and we're going to be asking him those very questions. So tell us, Curtis, what kind of conversation did you have with Charles? What did he say? You've got to be kidding me. He asked even about DNA, and what did you tell him? And he said, well, you burn it. Well, guess what? Our victim here was abandoned in the park and burned.
So it's another.
Charles, you got to give this up, man.
I'm not. I don't have a front. I'm
This
telling you.
this
It's
is
crazy.
this is a
It's crazy. I
self-defense.
asked it.
This is a self-defense, is what it is, and I understand.
I've
The
always
worst
said-
thing to do is to have to admit something like this that you were responsible for. That's the worst thing to
I
have
have
to
no
do.
qualms if I remembered it. Like if I
You
know I
have
killed
to
the girl-
remember it, because why are you having these conversations with your neighbor the following day?
I've talked to
How-
Chris about everything, even like maybe.
How to
About
destroy
killing
DNA?
Not
Yeah.
that. It's like I don't remember that. So like I've talked to him about all sorts of shit, but
You remember going to the first bar. You remember talking to a guy you met the week before. You don't remember anything that you did wrong. Isn't that a little convenient?
I don't remember leaving.
I think you did, okay? And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna throw that out there. I think you did, and I think there's two things that may be going on here right now. Either you're trying to cover your ass
I'm admitted to it.
by
I'm not trying to-
coming up with this I don't know, I was too drunk to know what I was doing thing, or it is weighing on you so heavy what you did to this girl that you're trying to block it out. And I'm telling you, you'll feel better if you tell us the truth. Not that I'll feel better, because I already got you. I'm telling you, we've
Yeah,
got
it's on
all
me.
the.
I get it.
We've got. Hang on a second.
Wait, you
We've
just
got-
keep reiterating the same thing.
I know,
got it.
but we've got all these people out here that are pulling evidence out of your house that you did this. Okay.
It's on me.
I know it's
I can't-
on you.
I cannot remember. I don't know how or why. It's like
Maybe
I
you're,
wish I did.
Maybe you don't want to think that I did this, but I'm telling you, you did. And the sooner you come to grips with that,
I have. Literally, I'm here. I'm talking to you.
brother, you have not come to grips with this, because we're talking about
Taking someone's life, me losing mine in jail. I get it. I got it.
exactly. And
I got it.
You can't just shrug that off.
I'm not
You-
shrugging off. My life is. My life is. I get it.
But you can't just
Dude,
say
I'm
it's,
done. I'm
it's
done with this.
mind blowing.
It is. My life's. I'm literally in jail the rest of my life for something I can't recall. It's like I don't remember leaving with this girl. I vaguely remember even talking to her. I don't remember getting that drunk. I thought I went home alone.
I hope someday that you do.
Yeah, I'm
Remember,
trying. I've been
because
trying so
This
hard.
is going
You keep
to.
pestering me.
I'm not trying to pester you, Charles. I'm really not. I'm.
You want answers, and I get it. I want answers too because I'm here.
It's not just that I want answers. It's that the fact that this is such a terrible, terrible thing that you're not even showing any kind of remorse, concern. You're just kind of like, it's mind blowing, and you're shrugging your shoulders, and you're like, I'm and this, that, and the other thing, but you're not showing anything
What am I
for
supposed
this
to do?
poor young lady. This lady that will never have the opportunity to
Never
have
life.
children. She will never, her parents will not have grandchildren. She will never know what it's like to get married. She won't know what it's like to graduate from college. She won't know what it's like to get her first professional job. She won't know any of these things because her life came to an end that night.
Yeah, funny.
That's huge. It's not just mind-blowing. And I can see it in you. I can see in you that you want to stand up and you want to take.
I'm taking credit for it. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why we end up in Grapevine. I don't know how I wake up and like not remember this.
Because you come to Grapevine. You go to the park.
I just thought when I go to a place that I go, oh my god, it's like, it makes no sense to me.
Why would you leave her purse in your trash can at your house?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
Why would you leave zip ties from your car with her hair in it
I don't
at your
know, man.
house?
I don't know.
But see, you laugh, and this is
Because
not
it's blowing.
laughing.
It's not laughing matter. It's literally you're in my face. I have nothing to do right now. It's like,
I'm not in your face.
what is this?
I'm a few feet away. I'm trying to, every time we start to talk and I start to talk about emotion and I start to try to make you understand
It's a
how
horrible
this,
thing, yeah.
hang on a second, okay? You keep interrupting me and that's the nervousness, okay?
It's 'cause he's been saying the same thing. It's
Okay,
literally, it's just,
give me one shot, okay? Every time I start to talk about emotion and every time I start to talk about the humanity of this young lady and the humanity of you, you shut down. Your eyes go to the floor.
I'm just
You
trying to.
shrug. You say it blows my mind and all that. And this is not mind blowing. We're
It's
talking.
pretty mind blowing.
We're talking
pretty
about the
mind-blowing.
end of 2 lives. 2 lives.
Yeah.
Hers and yours.
Yeah.
It's not mind blowing. What's mind blowing is that you can't remember anything from
Yeah,
that
I don't know
night.
why I'd want to. It's like,
It doesn't make sense, man.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
yeah.
One of these days, you're gonna have to come to terms with this, or it will.
I'm coming to terms.
It will
It's
haunt
like,
you for
I'm
the
trying
rest
to
of your
remember.
life. It will haunt you for the rest of your life.
I'm going to the fucking store.
You do remember
No,
going to
I
the store?
don't.
You don't remember going to the store. Why would you get a shovel and cough medicine at 4 o'clock in the morning? See, if we were talking about you got arrested for DWI and you went to the store in the middle of the night and bought cough medicine and a shovel, I would think that'd be something to laugh about. But when we're sitting here telling you that you killed a young lady, I wouldn't think that would be something to laugh
It's not
about.
laughable by any means.
But you just laughed.
Not really. It's just.
Nervous laughter?
I'm not even nervous. It's just.
Well, I'm glad you're not nervous. I'm not trying to make you nervous.
Clearly, Charles wasn't going to be letting up this act of amnesia anytime soon. More importantly, officers were at a standstill. They still had no answers as to why or how the murder took place. This is why officers call in Texas Ranger James Holland, a law enforcement celebrity because of his extraordinary skill in eliciting confessions. Not only does he have his own Wikipedia page, but he's also been nicknamed the serial killer whisperer because of his talent in interrogations. If anyone could get Charles to talk and navigate the mind of a killer, it would be Ranger James. And as soon as he sits down with Charles, there is an immediate contrast compared to the first interview.
I'll kind of explain that a little bit more. I'm guessing today that you probably have about 10,000 questions. Wondering what's going on and everything.
I went over everything yesterday.
Oh, okay. I figured you'd be curious about what's going on, what's going to happen next, and
A little, but yeah.
okay, all right. I brought you a cup of coffee if you want that.
Thank you.
Knock yourself out. Hey, what I can do today, and it's up to you, and I kind of want to, I guess, be as straight up with you as I can from the get-go, okay? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you or blow smoke or anything like that. I'm kind of this realist person. Sometimes people don't always want to hear what I have to say, but
No, it's straightforward.
well, and that's basically me, okay? But today we can get started. In other words, you can ask me some questions. I can tell you some things. I don't have any questions for you, okay? I mean, I really don't. As we get going, maybe I'll think of something, but I really don't. I was asked to come in and kind of help, and I was actually ordered down here yesterday by the governor after a phone call to our chief. But I just thought, you might want to ask some things, and I can probably explain some things to you. All that being said, you have been arrested, right? You know that you're in custody and you're in jail and all that stuff, okay? I'm not going to violate your rights. I'm not going to do anything wrong. I'm going to read you Miranda, and then at this point you steer the boat, and I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay. If at any time that you decide that you don't want to talk to me, or you don't want to answer a question, or you don't want to, just let me know, okay? And then we'll call it.
Since Charles was given enough time to contemplate, he is about to make a confession not even 10 minutes into this interview.
Tell me what's going on today. Why are you wearing the Village People outfit?
Right. I'll tell Tuesday, it's like...
They didn't have anything else for you to wear?
That's it. I was wearing my shorts and they're like, oh, I got changed in this, but I don't mind. Yeah, it's crazy because I really don't remember meeting this girl. It's like, I met her at a public house and...
A public house?
Yeah, it's a bar in Denton.
Oh, okay.
And it's like we left there and I thought we kind of parted ways, but we were at another bar drinking and I doubt that apparently she was with me. We came back to my place and I don't remember driving home with her, which is insane. And but yeah, because I got a text like the following day because like really I just found out yesterday. It's like oh, you're our lead suspect and she's dead. I'm like, that's fucking insane. But one of my clients, she texted me. She's like, oh yeah, there's a body found in it's like Grapevine Lake area, and just like we were close to that area. I'm like, that's fucking insane. And I was like, oh, let's just train somewhere else the following day because we're supposed to train on Friday morning. But yeah, turns out it was me, and it's just nuts. Like I don't even know this girl. It's like I don't remember her name, and it's just it's blown my mind because it's so out of character for me. It's like I'm not an angry guy. I'm not aggressive. It's I don't know. I've been trying to think over it last night, and I just don't remember leaving with her. It's like because all I remember is like she was this tiny little thing. I commented on that because I went and saw my friend Katie, and she's a bartender, and we were drinking there, and I've been there pretty much all day, just because I was going through some crap with my ex, and called a lawyer, blah 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 blah, and I just went to go drink with Katie, but I don't think I was that drunk. I remember going home. I thought I went home alone, but I didn't. But I'm taking it's like all the evidence is on me. It's like I'm just I can't remember doing it, but it's me. It's totally me. There's no doubt about it. But I just want to go forward with it. I don't know where I'm gonna go. It's like,
Right.
It's jail. I'm fine with that. One of the detectives yesterday was saying that Texas has a death penalty. I'm like, all right, great. I'm gonna die in jail, but I can't fight it. It's obviously me. I can't remember doing anything because they're giving me time frames, and I was like, I woke up at like 9. I just felt like really groggy and tired. I thought I was just hungover, but yeah, they're like, you're here, here, and here. I'm like, how the f***?
But a simple confession like this doesn't mean the case comes to a close here. Ranger James still needs to figure out the details of what happened, and most importantly, why it happened.
Do you know the difference between a good person and a bad person?
I think so.
What?
It's honest, do what's good.
Do you think that the Pope ever does anything wrong? You Catholic?
Yeah. I was raised Catholic for a little bit.
All right, well, we got something in common. Did you go to Catholic schools too?
For a little bit, and then Mom like converted over to Christianity. I went to like a Christian private school for a little bit, but
Did you have a sister, Mother Mary Clarissa, like I had, who used to beat the shit out of you with a ruler?
no, I didn't have a.
So, side note here, when I was in 3rd grade, Sister Mother Mary Clarissa, she would say, all right, everyone, let's get up and we're going to go to the lavatory. And I would always get excited. I was like, yeah, we're going to the lavatory. This is going to be awesome. And every time we'd end up in the damn bathroom. You know, as a kid, I didn't know lavatory. I was thinking we're always going to the lavatory. But one thing that I do remember, and it never made any sense to me, is if she caught you with your hands in your pockets, that you would have to take your hands out with the ruler. And it took me years to figure it out. I had no clue.
That's why you hit my head.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know. Do you know why you couldn't pocket pool?
Oh, really?
You know, I'm in 3rd grade, and I got, you know, it took me until I was like 27 to figure that stuff. There's a book called Last Catholic in America about this kid who grows up in Catholic grade schools, and it's hilarious, and that's actually how I figured out why Mother Teresa was beating the shit out of my hands with the ruler. But yeah, why that was going on. But so, you know, is there a mitigation of damages? Yeah, and it comes down to that question. You know, does Mother Teresa, did she ever make mistakes? Did the Pope ever make mistakes? Right. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone makes mistakes. You make mistakes. I make mistakes.
This one's pretty huge.
Well, there's different degrees of it, all right? But at the end of the day, what's the difference between a good person and a bad person? Well, a bad person makes a mistake and he walks on down the road, and he never says he's sorry and he never makes amends. He just goes. A good person They make a mistake and they say that they're sorry and they make
Yeah, I'm
amends.
trying to make amends.
Well, and they beg for forgiveness. There's a, what is amends in this case? Well, I think there's a lot of questions, that people have, that obviously law enforcement has, that I have, that the family's going to have, that everyone's going to have about, how does this guy like you? How does this happen? How do we get there?
I don't know how it would escalate to where I'd want to take someone's life, let alone drive from Denton to my place at Grapevine.
Well, and let me talk about psychosis a little bit, okay? Because I do primarily what I work is serial killer cases. Okay, so I deal with people that have gone off the reservation for one reason or another. Some of them just snapped, and some of them it's just this long-term, issues. Ted Bundy, it's been going on for 30 years. Well, you're not Ted Bundy. I mean, obviously you're not a serial killer or anything like that. But they asked me to get involved with this because the psychosis that is shown in the crime scene and what's going on now is very synonymous with what I do. And I can tell you this. So, is there a chance that you blacked out and that you don't remember anything? Yeah, absolutely. Right? And that's actually kind of normal, where when someone loses it, for whatever reason, bam, they snap. Right? You ever gotten really, really mad and just snapped and kind of lost it, and you're not thinking straight because, well,
I mean, it's not weird. It's so weird, man.
But that's what happens sometimes is there's a snap. And at that time, can there be this blackout stage, this psychosis, where this person basically has an out-of-body experience where they're seeing this, but it's not them doing it. And then later, basically what they do is they try to erase that memory from their mind. Is that a possibility? Yeah, absolutely, 10,000%.
Thanks to James linking scientific evidence and convincing Charles that everyone makes mistakes, he is far more willing to cooperate. To double down on this approach of building rapport, James will even go as far as to offer an alibi of self-defense that Charles can provide.
She didn't attack you. How do we know that you weren't defending yourself and that you didn't freak out? I mean, there's a bunch of things out there. We don't know, but there could be some legitimacy in that, the sexual stuff in the text. I mean, maybe she came on to you too strong. Maybe she wasn't a 10. You didn't want to be with her. Maybe, she got mad. Maybe she's giving you all the signals and then cut you off. I mean, there could be all kinds of different things going on here, right? I mean, chicks, right? Chicks.
I mean, find her attractive. Doesn't fit my bill. Like,
well, so you're not attracted to her. So let's backtrack for a second. So why are you with a girl who's not a perfect 10? You're not attracted to her. You don't want to have sex with this girl. So if you just see this girl walking down the street, man, I want to bang her. I mean, is that jumping out at you? Because you're doing Cindy Crawford's daughter and all this other shit, right? Gel, who's the quarterback from who's the one who got in trouble for Deflategate? Tom Brady.
oh yeah.
Jizzle, what's her name? Jizzle.
Jizzle.
Yeah. You're dating, right?
There.
You're dating her. So let's start walking back through this. But how do you know that this girl? I mean, maybe she's super freak and really into you, and maybe she freaks you out a little bit. Maybe you don't want to hit it, and maybe that doesn't go well. I mean, I've had that shit happen before. In other words, what I'm saying at the end of the day is there could be some mitigation here, right? And that's when I talk about it doesn't have to be end of the game. Obviously you got a body, we got a burned up body, we got all kinds of things that put it to you, but the truth. Do what?
Singing 12 to 1:30 from my place. So I don't remember leaving that. I thought it was another bar. And I was telling him, I thought I saw them in that bar together, but I was walking by. I was in there.
We went to two different bars that she was at, but you guys are hooking up on Kindle? What is it?
I never talked to her on Tinder. Yeah. I don't even have a Tinder account. They asked me yesterday. I don't have one.
So they got you with her on Tinder, discussing things of a sexual nature.
It's not me. I literally don't have a Tinder.
So you didn't?
I met her at the bar.
Okay. Any clue why they're throwing that out there?
I don't know. It's like I haven't used the only date app I've used in a long time is it's called Happen. It's like if you cross paths with someone, they have the app too. You can talk, but
Have you ever met this chick before?
never in my life.
Do you remember what she looks like?
Tiny little blonde girl.
Yeah. Did they show you a picture yesterday, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember commenting at Public House. I was like, "Oh, you're really tiny." Because she was sitting down, and then she stood up because I don't know, we were just drinking. I was like, "Oh, you're little." I remember that. We kept drinking. We all leave around like 9 something because Katie had to leave. It just gets blurry because I thought I went over to another bar.
You did. You went to a second bar.
Yeah, not that one. It's like I thought I went to that one, and there's a guy in there. He's a bartender.
Yeah, the bartender in there said you were in there chatting the chick up.
Yeah, they showed me pictures yesterday, and they were at the same time. And they gave a girl my card. Why we need to go. I lied when I kill someone. I don't. I don't know how that would escalate. And so there's a zip tie. It had her hair on it.
Well, you know what gets you. Well, so this is the swimming pool that's missing from your backyard, right? It didn't burn up all the way, and the edges curled over. So your DNA's, I mean, all over it. Fingerprints, DNA, and everything in the backside of the body, same thing. I mean, there's DNA on it. The other side of the swimming pool, there's DNA, there's fingerprints, there's dog hair that's going to end up matching, I think, your dog's. And you know, you got the knife with, that test isn't back yet, but the knife that's in your closet is going to come back with her blood on it. And the reason that they found out right away is it wasn't burned up all the way, so they were able to get fingerprints. It's called AFIS, Automatic Fingerprinting Information System. So they can basically, the morgue rolls her fingerprints because they're not off there, and then that's how we identify her so fast. And underneath her nails, she's got some skin. It's going to come back, we believe, to you. They just got their stuff, your DNA yesterday, and then I started.
Yeah, the swap and everything.
Yeah, I started pushing that. It was going to be 30 days, and I started pushing that last night. So the stuff starts coming back, and that's some of those texts. I asked them to update me as we go through, so I know definitive things. I can already tell you what's going to be there, but the swimming pool, your DNA on her body, or what's going to end up being your dog's hairs in the pool on her clothes. I mean let me show you a couple pictures. I'm going to be careful about what I show you. I'm not trying to freak you out or anything like that. Okay. Do you remember this swimming pool in your backyard?
Yeah, we had a couple.
Okay. And, I mean, did you notice that one of them was missing?
I wasn't even thinking about it, like our backyard's kind of trash.
Yeah, that's where one of them was. But your roommates got you out there at 4 o'clock in the morning. Here's the other one that's matching. You got two of them. One's gone. But your roommates got you out there at 4 a.m. digging a hole in the backyard. Let's see if I got a picture of the swimming pool where you dug a hole. But you're digging a hole basically where that swimming pool was, and he said you're putting in a kiki pond. You remember that conversation with him?
Koi pond?
Koi pond, yeah. You remember telling him that you were putting in a koi pond at 4 a.m.?
This was a massive slip-up by Charles. He instinctively corrects the officer by saying that it was a koi pond he wanted to build, but then immediately tries to cover it up with his amnesia story once more. In front of a jury, this would lean heavily in favor of the prosecution, as it acts to disprove Charles's claims of memory repression.
That's crazy. I remember digging a hole. It's like I saw the shovel next morning and like.
And so she's wearing a gray shirt, basically, right? But this is what's found on her body, and I mean, you know about DNA, mitochondrial, touch DNA, and all that stuff. Can fire destroy DNA? Absolutely, 10,000%. But you got to burn it, huh?
If everything was destroyed, yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't destroyed. Fire will destroy DNA if you destroy everything, but everything's got to be burned. But that's not burned, so your DNA is going to come back on there. The DNA from underneath the body has already come back. I mean, this is the underside. They pick it up, but obviously you carried the pool out there. You touched the pool when you carried it. Your DNA is all over it. One of them had they found a partial or a full fingerprint. See, as I'm getting these back, these are all my tests coming in. DNA positive. And this part that has the rolled up on it, this is where her body's found inside this, but you'll see that nice protection, the heat rolled over the edges, and your DNA and your fingerprints are, So, a bag, some of the stuff was wrapped in a bag, but the bag didn't burn. Well, mitochondrial DNA is on there. I mean, between YSTR, full range DNA, and mitochondrial DNA, I mean, you're all over it. And then, do you have a stomach? Can I show you a picture that's a little, all right. The fingernails are intact, your DNA, underneath the fingernails. So, how good is your, can I show you a disgusting picture or not?
Yeah, you can.
All right, the back of the body, your DNA is on it, mitochondrial touch DNA. So it didn't get burned. I mean, you're all over the place. I won't show you, well, can you handle one or not?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. The pool underneath,
Not burned.
not burned. You pick it up and it's completely good, and then you got the bags that are separated with the clothes in it, and they're not burned, I mean, you know what she was wearing, and you can see that that's what we have pictures of. I won't show you this next one because it's disgusting, but her mouth is not burned, So we've got what's called YSTR, but it's a male strand of DNA on her tongue. So that's gonna, I'm sure that's gonna come back to you. And I can show you if you want to see, it's kind of a disgusting picture, okay? And then this, in addition to all the video of you leaving together, the still one more. So, I mean, it's all there. And, what's Grapevine, huh? Well, and what does Grapevine want to do? I mean, well, kind of they want to be done. They reached out because they have something that they're not. Okay. Blood on knife matches victim's blood. That's what was recovered from your closet. So, I mean, all this comes through. But, I think they're happy to walk away, because they've got you and they don't give a shit. They've already made their case. But I'm a little bit different because I study people, and I try to me, unless you know every answer, then you don't know what happened, all right? The benefit of that to you is maybe these answers can help you, Now, I'll be honest with you,
it's pretty damning.
Well, but I'll be honest with you, if you remember this whole thing and you're a psychopath, serial killer, and you dream about this shit and you do it all the time, and then you should just shut up and tell me to leave and that you don't want to talk to me anymore. I don't see that.
Charles probably chuckled at the absurdity of the situation. First, James showed him DNA evidence of him being responsible for the murder, and now he says that he still has faith in him. In a time when he feels like the world is against him, these words only soften him up after an aggressive conversation. But James still has one more move left up his sleeve, one that will make Charles speechless. Pizza.
Stinking ass smoke you got in here.
Thank you.
I didn't even smell that.
Probably smells better than being in the back, right?
Yeah, it's cold back there. I'm not gonna stink. I haven't showered since yesterday.
No, I'm not smelling you, so. Mr. Pibb?
Works for me. So leave there. This makes sense, but why the zip ties? She possibly get back to my face.
I mean, can you think of anything else with why the zip ties are coming into play?
No. So whenever being really tiny, I don't think I'd have to restrain her with zip ties.
No, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, well, look at you. You want to ask?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good.
This gets in the way.
Well, actually, if you got it, I'll trade you cups. How's that? You want it?
No, I'm okay.
Oh, maybe one of those cups back.
Yeah.
Well, here, I'll trade you that.
It's not that hard.
Well, that just shows the disheveledness, though. That just shows that. What does that mean? It means that it's not intentional.
Maybe I don't know the drive. People saw me there, so it's there. Body's there.
I mean, would you agree that nothing after the fact makes any sense? I mean, you're a smart guy.
No, nothing.
If you wanted to get rid of a body, I mean,
I'd probably want to burn it.
yeah, but would you burn it there?
No.
So if you were, had your thoughts about you, had your wits, where would you go? What would you do?
Somewhere fairly desolate.
Yeah. So what does that prove? It proves you're out of your mind, right? I mean, no one's home at that moment. You're still breathing, you're still you, but essentially you're having an out-of-body experience. I mean, that's what that shows. Like I said, there's a lot of mitigation there,
I really think so.
Well,
Pretty guilty.
But if you're just this cold-blooded, calculated killer and you plan to do this, okay? When I look at this, no.
No.
Because who is going to be dumb enough to be seen on video with a chick at a bar, leaving with her on video, right? And then go kill her. Who does that? People saw you with her. I mean, these aren't your enemies. These are people that like you, have a lot of respect for you. And they're the ones that are picking her out, saying, yeah, he left with her, or he was drinking with her, and, all these other things. So, what does that show? Well, I'm looking at intent. What's your intent? Well, if your intent was to go, kill a chick and a chick, are you sadistic? Are you made to, or is your mind defunct where you want to get captured or to get caught? No.
That's my life in jail. I get this sentence.
But none of those things are you, right? I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Because if you did want to kill a chick, I mean, what would you do? You get some alias and go to the library and hook up on Facebook or whatever, and then meet her at some location that no one knows you.
Someplace infrequent.
No. You're sure as hell not going to go somewhere where the bartender knows you at two places, right? Two different people know you there that's on video, and then leave with her. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Who does that? Not someone who's intending on, cutting someone up or killing someone. That should make you feel better, doesn't it?
A little. But not really.
You want some more of this?
Yeah, I'm just not super hungry.
Well, let me get this out of here,
I'll take another one.
and let's start working through this. You want to take 2 or 3?
Yeah.
You want me to leave it? We can.
It's also a big guy, I guess.
I don't know what was in that pizza, but whatever it was so potent that it sent Charles into a state of complete silence. So much so that James has to put him through a guided meditation in order to squeeze more information out of him.
Okay, then what I need you to do is release yourself. Okay? And basically what that means is I'm going to try to make you comfortable and relaxed, and we're going to go through this. Not 10% of the time, not 20% of the time, not 90% of the time, but 10,000% of the time, this works. Okay? It's just people way smarter than me came up with it, but it deals with the random access memory in your brain, and it deals with jarring things. We could sit here and I could start talking to you about your first bicycle, as a kid, and if I could put you back in that same time frame and find one solid thing, then we could actually work back through, and I could get you to describe the first bike that you ever got, when you got it, who gave it to you, what brand it was, and all those different things. Do me a favor. This only works if you want it to work, okay? And it's all about relaxation, because you have this constriction on your brain right now. It's squeezing you. It's the pressure and the stress and all these different things, the not knowing, right? And it's squeezing your brain, and it's making it not work. So what we need to do first is start relaxing your brain a little bit, taking off that constriction. And as we do this, things start to get clearer. And then we anchor ourselves in what you do remember, and then we work around that, and we move forward, and we work around that. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do, and what we're going to do is we're going to run through the whole thing. We're going to run through exactly what you remember, and then we're going to go back to that beginning point, and then we'll work from there. Okay? But first of all, I want you to close your eyes. Relax your body. Okay, loosen up your hands. There you go, straighten your fingers out. Okay, I want you to take a deep breath. Slowly exhale. Just take another deep breath. Slowly exhale. Deep breath. Slowly exhale. I want you to feel a relaxing sensation in your fingers, in your feet, in your toes. You should start feeling your body relaxing. The pressure on your eyes and your forehead is slowly dripping away. Your sinuses are starting to open up. You're starting to breathe a little bit better. I want you to picture blankness in your mind.
For the next hour and a half, Ranger James puts Charles through this exercise and gets him to recount what happened on the night of the murder in hopes of unraveling the details. However, Charles deserves an Oscar because he keeps up his facade of amnesia, only this time it was excruciatingly slow. It is after a break that the two return and another attempt is made to recount what happened. But this time, Charles is going to give a full confession of what happened, including every single one of his twisted attempts at dismemberment.
But I think the first question is going to be is the consensual?
I would force myself on it.
Okay, and so go back to leaving the bar, and you end up. Where do you end up parking at?
I don't know. It's like swing down 35, but where I don't know. I'm still drinking. Yeah, there's crab malt liquor thing.
I mean, and there's some things that she's just going to want the answer to, and the DA in Tarrant County's, Okay. Is this like one of those, okay, I'm going to try this and see if she digs it, or?
It wasn't even hard or anything. Like we're making out. Just hang on to it. Just like, I like that.
Okay. Has she said she'd done that before, or?
I don't know.
Okay. So you start doing that, she likes it. And then the whole flex cuff thing, how does that come about? Where does that come from?
I think they were just there when I saw them.
I mean, did you talk to her about that, or?
I don't recall. I don't think so.
Okay. But, and as you go to put this around her, I guess you connect it while it's around her throat. In other words, you don't put it together and then slip it over her head.
Ranger James asks about the sexual encounter in so much detail because Jackie was found to have injuries between C2 and C3 in her spine. This injury in particular is a result of strangulation, meaning that Jackie could have died while the two were having sex.
Okay, no fighting going on. And she doesn't say anything. She doesn't say stop or Okay, and so you put this on, and initially you put it on fairly loose.
Yeah.
Okay, and now she's on her back, and you're basically, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, and then when does it start getting tighter? Does she ever adjust it, or do you adjust it, or?
It had to been when we turned back around.
Okay, so then she lays over on her stomach. Do you flip her over, or does she turn over, or how does that go?
I get off her and she turns around. And
All right, but she's laying, I mean, with her butt all the way down, and you're on top of her, okay? And are you grabbing it in any way, shape, or form at that time?
no.
It just kind of tightens up on its own.
Yeah, I didn't readjust it after that.
Okay, did you see where the front part of it was? You know how it tightens? Where was that? Was it under her body or behind her, or?
It was to the side.
Okay.
This way.
Did you ever see her tighten it?
Wasn't really paying attention.
Okay, so as far as you know, she didn't tighten it, but she definitely didn't say stop or don't do that. Okay, she doesn't fight you in any way when you put it on. All right, and so now she's laying on her stomach, and you're having sex with her, and you hear it click.
I didn't hear any clicks. She stopped, like,
Mm-hmm.
moving with, I guess.
So the next point in time, the next question that the DA is going to happen is, okay, this happens, and let's say it's all consensual, right? She's into all this. Why doesn't he do anything to save her? Or what do you do to save her? What happens after she goes limp? Do you cut her throat or anything when you're trying to cut it off, or?
No.
Okay. But at that time, there's just no movement.
Yeah.
Do you try CPR or do anything?
I didn't know.
Okay. And her question, you've got a cell phone. Okay. She's got a cell phone. So what did you end up doing with her cell phone?
It's not a bag. I don't know even where we were at.
Okay. Did you toss it out, you think, or?
I don't know, like grabbing the phone either.
I mean, those are things that are important,
Right.
you know. If you think that you tossed a cell phone out at that location, then my thought is, well, go take us to that location and let us recover the cell phone, and that's corroboration to your story. But only, you know the answer to that. If you burned it with the body, then they're going to find that out as they're tearing through everything.
Right.
Any clue?
Yeah, definitely wasn't with her. Everything about like the pool.
So I guess that's a big question she's going to ask. All right, well, if this was an accident and this is consensual, what's he end up doing with the cell phone?
She was there. I tossed it, going back down towards the house.
Okay, which one? And that's what she wants. She wants
Yeah.
answers. I mean, she's going to go back to me and say, well, Ranger, does he remember everything? And I'm going to say, yeah, I think he remembers everything now. Like I said, there's a blackout period, and there's a time where you're not going to remember anything. But 72 hours, it's pretty much coming back. And then, like I said, I mean, I've been doing cognitive interviews for years. And they just, I've had some really serious victims of crime. I've had some people, some actors that did some stuff and literally kind of blacked out. And it all comes back. So it's there. Huh?
Yeah, that tossed it then.
But you don't know where?
Going down 35.
Okay. So her question is going to be, when she's non-responsive and you cut that off, why don't you do anything then to try to help her? Why don't you call 911? Why don't you do anything like that? And what's the answer?
Freaked out, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So you're scared and you're freaked out, and you already know that she's dead, I guess. Is there anything you could have done at that point to save her?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. So at that point in time, you're freaked out and you go home. Pretty accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you're home, you make a statement that you kind of sit in the backyard for a little bit. And what's going through your mind? What are you thinking? I mean, obviously your life is flashing in front of you, but what's your thought process? Are you debating several options, or are you locked into, I'm going to get rid of the body, or what's going on?
Yeah, just trying to know what to do, I guess.
You guess or you know? In other words, and I'm not trying to come down on you hard at this point, but these are the things that she's going to ask me.
You have to have answers.
Yeah, and she expects answers. I mean, you remember this, and you're saying, I mean, more or less it's kind of an accident, right? Okay. That's fine, but you've got all these other things going on. So we need to kind of put that together. So the question is, you're in the backyard and you're sitting there thinking, what are the options that you're weighing? What do you come up with?
So they just have to get rid of the body, I guess.
Okay, so at that point, you're just scared. You don't want this to ruin your life. Okay. And what options do you go through in your mind? Obviously, I guess you think about just burying her in the backyard.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta show them. Get back to work.
How long do you sit there and think about what you're going to do?
Minutes, if that.
Okay. And then you go get the shovel. And so the next thing that she's going to ask about is, it's a weird way of getting rid of a body, right? They don't see that. That's why it's all over the news. A dismemberment with the head removed. Why do you do that? That's the other thing that she's going to want to know. I mean, you said something about it was easier to carry the body. Was there any other?
I guess.
Was there anything else weird going on? I mean, were you I talked about picturing this girl as someone else. Was there a time that you pictured her as this girlfriend that did you wrong, or did anything like that come into play?
No.
Okay, so I mean, this is just Jackie is Jackie. Didn't have anything against her. Did she do anything bad? Did she attack you? Did she nothing like that?
No.
Okay. So, I guess at the end of the day, you cut up the body, and that's more or less just to make it easier to get rid of. Okay.
The rationale.
So there's one part here that I know you don't want to talk about, but again, it's corroboration. Okay, they obviously have the body. They know exactly what's been done to the body. The gas didn't. You saw, the one picture. I mean, the gas didn't do much to destroy anything, and that's why I'm asking you questions. Well, one, to bring back what occurred. That's why I'm asking you about the body stuff. The torso, did you put her in a bag, or did you put a bag on top of her, or are you sure what happened there?
We put her in a bag.
All right.
Yes, if something was missing.
And that's what I know you don't want to talk about.
I'm just trying to think. It's like.
And understand the significance of that. Okay, so Jim, you've got this guy, and you saying that he's being honest, and you want me to believe his story. Yeah. Okay, but he hasn't told the whole story. He's held something back, and she's going to ask me, is he hold something back? Well, what's my answer? Yeah, and that's what you have to deal with. The body had a certain cut to it, and you need to fill in that blank, and that's the corroboration that he's being completely honest. And there's just no way around it, because
Right.
it's there. It's in the pictures. It's in the coroner's report.
Just took organs out, I guess.
Okay, what did you take out?
Heart, lungs.
Which one or both?
Both. Heart.
Okay, did you do anything to the heart after you took it out?
So,
Are you sure? And again, these are things that you would remember, and I know that you don't want to talk about these things, but
trying to piece together. It's like.
yeah.
The thing I can actually see vividly in my head is like cutting off her arm. Like I can see that.
Okay, but you remember taking out the heart.
Something's missing. I think that's what I would take out.
Okay, the significance of that's going to be important to her. Why the heart?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why I asked you about, does something come into play with the ex-girlfriend in this?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
Like I don't even want to kill Caitlin. It's like I don't know why I want to kill this girl.
Do you know, tell me what you did to the heart after you took it out.
I had to put it in one of the bags.
Okay, do you remember what bag?
She was one with the head of the arms.
Okay, which one?
The head, because the arms and the legs are in one bag.
Okay, so you put the heart in the bag with the head.
Yeah.
Did you do anything else to the heart before you put it in that bag?
No.
You didn't do any cuts or do anything to it at all? Okay, and you sure you put it in the bag with the head?
Pretty sure.
Okay, and that's going to be what, the green bag?
Yeah, it was a green bag.
Okay. And why? I mean, that's going to be a huge question of why. Why the heart?
Why would take anything out? Is that the only thing out?
I can't give you all that, but obviously you're hitting on the right cylinders because I'm asking you what bag the heart was in and stuff like that. So.
Bag, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Significance to me. I don't know how to do it. Just heed the moment.
I mean, is it like a military thing kicking back in, or is it? I mean, at the end of the day, I guess, why does it all happen like that? I mean, I get the sex thing and the accident. The harder part to swallow is the dismemberment, the decapitation, and the heart, yeah, and then the fire. Why does it go down like that? I mean, what is going through your mind when those things happen?
That was just make it easier to move.
Yeah.
Making I took her heart out doesn't really justify that by any means.
Right, and that's what, I talk about the truth. I mean, and that's my job, is to figure this whole thing out and figure out the truth. And I think that's going to be, at the end of the day, a giant question. Why did he take out the heart? And I don't know that I have an answer. What do you come up with? What do you want me to tell her?
I can't even rationalize any of it.
But you remember it.
I can see myself putting it in the trash bag.
Okay. The last thing she's going to ask me about, and I put down 3 things: sex, cut, and fire. The fire. Why do you burn the body?
Just for evidence.
Okay. Did you know that would, presumably wipe out DNA, or do you watch CSI? I mean, what was the logic behind that?
With everything now laid out in front of them, the only thing left to do was charge Charles for the murder of Jackie Vandegrift. Charles's defense ultimately did not deny his role in Jackie's death, but instead argued that this wasn't premeditated murder as she had died during sex. But this was not enough to convince the jury. In April 2018, Charles Bryant was convicted of capital murder and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.